Welcome back to the Crash Bandicoot 2 playthrough. We are in the last legs of the game, World 5, which is going to go a lot smoother than World 4, I promise you. In fact, the last part is next part, and that includes credits.
By last legs, you mean like the ankle areas, because you said last legs of the game for World 4 too. So now we're really getting into like the toe area.
Oops. Yeah, but yeah, there are only like 3 level themes in World 5, 2 of them repeat. So we're going to see 2 Rocket Pack levels, 2 Space Station platforming levels.
These control awful.
These control awful when you're not blazing through the level. They're actually pretty fun when you try to speed through, but there's the problem of box gems, which you need to be very slow and awkwardly precise to get.
Yeah, if you're just blazing through this, it's about the equivalent of, say, Star Fox.
Yeah.
But, yeah, when you have to slow down and go up and down manually...
Which you're required to do to finish the game.
Go backwards.
Well, hold on. What is getting all the box gems and all the crystals and stuff get you? Do you...
Extra ending.
The extra ending that leads into Crash 3. It's a very short extra ending, but it's oddly satisfying because of how much shit you had to go through to get it. The thing about the Rocket Pack levels that make it tolerable, though, is the music. This level theme is my favorite my second favorite in the game after the death theme for what? I didn't.
You gave it the ugly eye.
I'm not complaining because I meant to blow that up anyway, but how did it happen? But yeah, there's some odd programming weirdness in the Rocket Pack levels. I think they were running out of time.
Well, how long after Crash 1 did Crash 2 come out?
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they probably didn't have too much
you get
time
stuff
to make
like getting
this.
stuck in the background like I just did. It is a very nice looking level, though.
Those loose wires, I think, are the most dangerous obstacle, because I can never quite predict when they're going to go high up or low.
Yeah. Those glowing red things actually are the easiest obstacle to get rid of, because once you fly through it once, they just vanish. I don't know what they are, though. I just call them the tomatoes of doom.
Okay.
That's what they look like. Glowing red tomatoes, or hot peppers, or something. I've never gotten a close enough look at their model to tell what they are. They look vaguely like the balloons from Wild Arms 1, maybe. And it hurts me inside whenever I reference a really old RPG like that, because I can guarantee no one who's watching this has played it.
I've at least heard of Wild Arms, but I heard of Wild Arms through you, so...
Yeah.
I've, if it's any consolation, I've seen Wild Arms in action one time in '96.
Dude, ugly as fuck, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it was a... Alright, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe if I'm misremembering something. Wild Arms, it was an overhead RPG?
It was an overhead RPG that was sprite-based outside of
Yeah.
battle and had really shitty 3D graphics in
I don't remember the 3D graphics, but I remember the overhead stuff. It was actually another game introduced by my uncle, but it didn't leave any lasting impact, so I never considered following it, so...
Wild Arms 1 isn't really worth it. Like, it has a PS2 remake that's infinitely better, but somewhat glitchy toward the end. And it tells the story much better, so anyone who wants to get introduced to the series, that or 3 is a good starting point. 2 if you're really into shitty translations.
Oh, I love shitty translations. They're my favorite.
Yeah, but the Wild Arms series came out around the same time as Final Fantasy VII, and I think 1 predates it a little. So yeah, that should speak volumes about the level of design that we're thinking about here.
That's not an excuse. 4 and 5, no, not 4. Final Fantasy 6 had a better translation job than 7.
Well, oh no, I wasn't talking translation. I was talking about just the level of technology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is the worst level of Tier 5.
I don't like the darkness level, but the darkness level is pretty easy. It's only the the secret level version.
Well, let me reiterate. This is the hardest
this
level in the game when you're trying to get everything. So.
Oh yes, yes. I was about to mention that actually. What you need to do is go to the end of the level, get all the boxes, and then go through
the box gem. Well, not the box gem.
No, just go to the end of the level and get all the boxes, because the boxes continue up to a certain point. Then you have to platform your way back through the level, which isn't that hard from a camera perspective because side scroller, but it involves a lot of precise jumps over shrink rays that insta kill you if they hit. Well, if you have a mask, you could cheese your way past one or two.
I was about to say, everything insta-kills you if you get hit if you don't have anything.
Yeah, well, the shrink rays make you think for a few seconds after they hit you that you can keep playing except small, but then you keep shrinking. The reason you die is because you become a microscopic thing. It's actually pretty amusing.
There is a way, though, you can ignore everything. Again, utilizes the
Z-axis.
Z-axis. You get to the very tippy-toe edge of the platform. You won't activate the shrink ray platforms.
Yeah, but that's like frame perfect stuff, right?
It's not that hard to do. I've done it a few times.
Yeah, it takes a while to get good at consistently, though.
I guess so. I do it all the time now when I'm going for pistoning away.
So let me guess, with those things, you can either jump on them when their things are outside, or you can spin them when they're up, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Save that checkpoint for later, you will thank me.
Is that the death thing right there?
That's the death path, and the checkpoint is right in front of the death path, and that's why I say save it for later. But we need to go through the rest of the level first. Whenever you hit the arrow buttons, the corresponding laser thing will fire off. So don't hit the ones that are right in front. But if you hit one of the ones that are a distance away from the laser thing, the laser travels very slowly, so you still have plenty of time to jump over it. This is a bit obnoxious because, well, if you die in here, I'm pretty sure it disqualifies you from the death path. But the thing about it is, there are some hard-to-see ceiling things when you're jumping over the nitros that can potentially screw you over pretty badly. It happened during my practice run. I don't think it happens here because I remember getting through this level in one go. But if you try to jump too high off of the pistons, you will wind up possibly bumping the ceiling and falling into the nitros.
I've never seen that done legitimately.
It happened to me by accident.
I just used the Z-axis to jump around them, but I never thought of doing it that way.
Well, it's kind of the way that the designers expect you to. You clip the ceiling thing so precisely that it can only be considered an accident. Like they overlooked it while they were designing. And they give you a checkpoint over here, so those enemies are weird, and they don't come back in the later game, thank God. But if they bump you when they push the shield, they'll push forward a space. And
yeah, it's not a continuous push, right?
If you walk into it, they will bump you back a space, which usually means either toward the pit or into the pit. And they bump you hard. But they also push forward a space themselves whenever they successfully hit you. And that's as far as you need to go for box gem completion. I think it's like right up until in front of the end level pit. So if you go further than that, you don't have to backtrack very far at all. This is an obnoxious jump to make.
Yeah, again, just if you can get that good positioning with that Z-axis, you can completely step on these without activating them, and you'll be fine that way too.
Leave this enemy here. That's another crucial thing. Leave that fucking enemy. Otherwise, you won't be able to get over.
Is it possible to go jump towards the camera and then maneuver your way to the higher platform?
I've never tried it, and
it looks like it's just high enough.
It might be if you make it precise, but I've never tried it. I would just say leave that enemy because it's a lot simpler and more painless. Now, this death path is a pain in the caboose when it comes to timing, and you can tell I'm nervous. Because you need to wait until just before the first crusher would come down. Also, this is funny. Like, he does the same animation as if he were falling into a pit, too.
What a way to go.
Don't worry, he's a robot.
I know, but...
He screams like...
He screams like a man! A man!
The screams those things make when they fall haunt my dreams, man. This is really precise. You don't want to hit that forward arrow. So...
What do the arrows do if you land on them?
They make one of the lasers fire off. If it's pointing toward the foreground, it's going to fire at you from above. But yeah, those two that close together almost guarantees a hit, and I did get hit, just not by one of the lasers. The bounce from losing my mask bounced me up over the arrow and over the cannon, so I guess, wouldn't have mattered. I had invincibility frames. But at least it sped things up.
Yeah. That is the most difficult level, tier 5, so...
Debatable. The 5-color gem path in the other space station level is something.
I just can't describe it right now.
Crash 3 does this thing too, but at the very last level in the 25 level lineup, there is a path that requires all 5 color gems to make it through, divided into 5 tiers, and at the end of each tier is another colored gem platform that you need to go through. So you can play through partially if you have some of them, but then you'll get to a dead end, and you'll be like, oh, fuck, I just wasted my time, didn't I?
You know, that actually reminds me of the first time I played Chrono Trigger, where I decided, yeah, I'll go fight Lavos right now. He's the bad guy. I can do this. And then, you know, I fight like 3 bosses. And then I get to the boss that I haven't encountered yet, and I get my ass kicked. So,
this is like a little slice of the beginning of the game at the very end, only dark, and with a death path.
You see, it's symbolic because our beginnings are in darkness and... Okay, even I can't...
Kingdom Hearts is light.
Yeah, that.
Kingdom Hearts is a firefly. What? No.
Considering how convoluted the series has gotten, I wouldn't be surprised.
That jump I fell into was slightly bullshit, though, because it requires a long jump, basically, but you don't necessarily know that until you've jumped far enough into the pit to see the other side.
As a person who makes slide jumps his normal jump, I don't notice it.
Oops. I died to a Dilophosaurus. Great. Who dies to the Dilophosaurus?
You did.
Dennis.
Well, he doesn't count. He's an idiot.
Okay, well then you.
Yeah.
I never once died to a Dilophosaurus in the Genesis game.
You did the same thing 3 times, goddammit.
Stop. Past me! You only need to reach the goddamn gem! This is the death path I was thinking about earlier when I said you needed to get far enough down the death path to get the gem, and then go back down the other fork.
In the dark!
Yeah, there are no boxes on this path. All you need to do is get far enough down to reach the clear gem. And once you've done that, suicide, go back to the checkpoint and go down the original path. Because if you keep going, you're just going to come out the other side of the fork, and then you'll have to backtrack. That was
darkness level.
That was intentional. Backtracking at a darkness level is impossible.
I mean, you could memorize the entire level layout, but...
You could, but I don't...
Why would you do that?
Look, I forget when trash day is, alright? I'm not going to memorize the level layout, no matter how hard I try.
Remember, after a holiday, it's the day after.
Garbage day.
Actually, these stacks of boxes right here. This is where Matt died by touching the side of the wooden boxes, and it acted like he hit the nitro.
Yeah, I recall having him having a lot of problems with that.
Yeah, sometimes the nitro hitboxes can get a bit larger than the box. Probably because their bouncing animation triggered before they would bounce. Well, in any case, now that we've gotten through the painful part of the level, it should be smooth sailing.
So does the Firefly follow you, or...
This Firefly follows you. Cause you can tell because instead of just flying forward, it's zooming in circles around your head.
The Fireflies generally in the darkness levels will hover around you for a short amount of time, then it'll just fly away.
Yeah. Fucking
Why?
boxes.
I don't know. I guess they get bored. And...
This Firefly is going to abandon me pretty soon.
And if they abandon you, you're just screwed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Once or twice, I've had a Firefly abandon me in a bonus level, and I've blindly gotten the other boxes I needed. But it's kind of hard to do because of the pits. God damn the pits. But I think you can slightly see some things if you look carefully and your brightness is high enough.
Screw you,
right,
level.
right.
What are you doing?
I remember this actually. This is a particularly annoying thing at the end of the death path. There are a couple boxes at the very, very tippy end.
You jumped on top of the mushrooms there for a second.
Fortunately, the only real thing that happened between that checkpoint and where I died was the bonus level. So I need to go back just a little ways, and the trick to doing this is to do it really fast before the Firefly can abandon you. I got close enough. So yeah.
Wouldn't it be easier to just go all the way through the death path and then backtrack through the normal path?
No, it wouldn't.
No,
it's harder.
Not. No, you only need to backtrack a little ways, and you can do it with the same Firefly you already had when you got there if you're fast enough. I was a little too slow, but I managed to cheese my way past and got so cheesy a mouse ate me. Yeah, the thing is, there are only two boxes at the very end, and you can get there on the one Firefly. I cheesed past by jumping along the edge of the level, where you can just barely land on the background objects, which is basically your only hope if you get caught in the dark here. And that level's done, which means all we have left are rocket levels and a rocket level and a space station level. Stuff we've already seen. God help us commentating.
Well,
because
also, you know, the final boss and stuff. That's not
the final boss is a rocket level.
Oh.
It's the lamest final boss in the series, even lamer than Crash 1's. You'll see.
You'll see.